out with each one of the exercises that we're talking about right now. So we have our hammer-ons, our pull-offs, and our slides. What else do we have? We have bends. Bends are one of the most important things that you can practice to make you sound really good. One, they give you a lot of emotion in your playing, but also if you bend correctly, they just sound great. They just give you a feel on the guitar you're going to love. And if you do them wrong, then you'll be bending your notes out of key, and that doesn't sound good. So let's talk about bends really quick. There's a couple of rules. First rule is if you're bending the first, second, or third string, you're going to pretty much want to push up towards the center of the fingerboard. Center meaning the vertical center between strings 1 through 6. So if I'm on string 1, I'm going to push up, 2, up, 3, up. And then typically 4 is going to be down towards the center, 5 down, and 6 down. Now there are exceptions. These are not set in stone, but that's a great guideline to follow. If you're always pushing towards the center of the fret, you're never going to push the string off the side of the fingerboard. Second thing, we have two types primarily. There's a zillion different bends. There's quarter bends. There's sometimes there's just feel bends. There's a whole step plus a half step. But let's talk about the two most common bends. The two most common bends are a full bend and a half bend. A full bend is where we bend the note up 2 frets, or a full step, or a whole step. A whole step and a full step are synonymous. So if we're talking about a whole step or a full step, we're talking about 2 frets. So what we're really saying is that if we want to bend the 12th fret up a full step, if we see that, we're going to want to bend the 12 so that it sounds like the 14. The best way to approach this is to hit the 14th fret first, hit the pitch in your head, then go back to the 12th fret and try to bend it up and match that note. Match it. Another way to do it is you can practice your slides and bends together by sliding from 12 up to 14 back down and then bending. Trying to make it sound the same. Secondly, you can do, thirdly, you can do your hammer-ons and your pull-offs. Same thing. 12 hammer to 14, pull off to 12. Slide. So basically, in that little exercise, we're practicing hammer-ons, pull-offs, slides, and bends all in the same exercise. The second type of bend is the half bend. And this one's a little harder. A lot of times when we go to bend a note, we tend to go right past the half step and immediately head for the full step. Well, a half step would be 1 fret. So if the whole step or full bend is 2 frets, the half step's going to be 1 fret. For example, 12, up the half step's going to be 13. So we hit 13, let that note ring, and then bend and try to match it. Now, the strings are all different. We talked about different sizes, and on the different frets, it feels different to do bends. So you're going to want to practice, again, your bends all over the fingerboard, all the different strings, different frets. We might randomly, in fact, you can randomly call things out like this and say, okay, I'm going to take my 4th finger, 15th fret, 2nd string, bend it a half step. So what I'll do is I'll take my 4th finger, go up to the 15th fret on the 2nd string, slide over to 16 to hear the note, test it, and then go back and try to bend it. Try to match it. Next, you want to make sure that whatever finger you bend with, and this is pretty typical as well, this is not always set in stone, but it's certainly a good rule to follow. Whatever finger you're bending with, that's how many fingers should be down per fret. For example, first finger down, I can only have 1 finger down. It's my first finger, great. So if I got to bend a half step, I can do that. But if I'm going with my second finger, then 2 fingers should be down, 1 per fret. 3, my 3rd finger, then all 3 fingers. What basically happens is all of your other fingers tend to help you with it. So with the bends, they'll help you to bend, especially when you get to your 4th finger. You're going to find this really helpful. If I'm at the 15th fret on the 2nd string and I want to do a full bend, right, those other 4 fingers are certainly going to help that pinky to have the strength to get it up there. So with the bends, try them all over the fingerboard, all different strings, different frets, full bends, half bends, and try to wire those. And then again, connect them maybe with hammer-ons, pull-offs, as well as your slides. And the last one we're going to talk about is vibrato. And the school of vibrato here, there's a couple different ways that people approach vibrato. Basically 3 ways that I know. We have your up and down, which is vibrato when we hit a note and we just kind of keep it vibrating and changing the pitch ever so slightly to kind of give it more of a live feeling. Okay, so you're kind of going back and forth. What I'm doing is I'm actually taking the string and I'm going up and then going back across the center point and back the opposite direction. About the same on both sides. Okay, and it keeps that kind of wavy sound. Another form of vibrato is where people go side to side. Okay, And to me, this vibrato doesn't have as much effect. It helps sustain the note a little bit, but it doesn't really have the same effect as the other one. So I'm more partial to this one. But again, experiment with these, figure out what works best for your style and what you're into. The third one is one that I've never really gotten very proficient at. And I know I've seen Steve I do a lot, but it's the circular vibrato. And that is kind of a combination of the first two. You kind of go in a circle, go back and forth on the string as well as up and down, all kind of an equal motion. It's pretty cool. If you can wire it, it's great. I think I'm going to probably put more time into that myself. The more I look at it, it just looks cool. Plus it sounds good. So those are basically your three types of vibratos. And all the techniques that we talked about today are all techniques that will just smooth out your playing. They'll create warmth in the solos that you do. And most of these solos that we're going to be learning in excerpts are going to probably be more at least intermediate, and then some to advanced. And we'll do exercises for all levels. But you're going to find that, you know, it's hard to have a solo that doesn't have at least hammer-ons or pull-offs or slides or bends. I mean, you're not just going to find something that's just straight notes. You know, every now and again you'll come across something like Wipeout, right? You know, where you just hit every note, but pretty few and far between. So practice your techniques. Try to wire these things, and next time we come back to all about techniques, we'll learn other ones. Probably some maybe some tapping stuff, maybe some arpeggios, things like that. But wire these, and then we'll do it again next time.